Welcome back to the online learning and teaching of the Merchant of Venice. Here I am with the scene first of Act 4 of the play. We shall begin it by going through its introductory paragraph. This scene introduces you to the famous trial scene of the Merchant of Venice, where you find the trial of Antonio in a Venetian court of law. Here, Duke, the judge, appeals or asks Shylock to show mercy to Antonio and to save Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. Bassanio here offers double the amount to Shylock, but he doesn't become compassionate at all. On seeing this, Portia makes a speech on quality of mercy to prompt him to be merciful towards Antonio, but she too fails in her attempt to mitigate or soften Shylock's determination to have a pound of flesh. Then she changes the course of action by allowing him to have his bond on the condition that it should be an exact pound of flesh, and that is to be had without shedding a single drop of blood from his body. Thus, he falls in his own trap and loses the bond. As a result of that, he has to leave half his property, and the other half he has to keep on trust on the condition that he will become a Christian, to be rendered to Lorenzo and Jessica. Finally, to express his thankfulness or gratitude to the lawyer, Bassanio offers or gives away his wife's ring to the lawyer, which results in the ring episode. Scene 1. Venice, a court of justice. Enter the Duke, the Magnificus, Antonio, Bassanio, Gratiano, Celerio, and others. This scene opens in a Venetian court of justice. The foreign characters like the Duke, the Magnificus, Antonio, Bassanio, Gratiano, Celerio, and others make their entry to the court. Duke: what is Antonio here? Well, is Antonio here? Antonio: ready, so please your grace. Yes, your grace, I am ready here, or I am here. Duke: I am sorry for thee. Thou art come to answer a stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, void and empty from any dram of mercy. On finding Antonio in the court, here Duke speaks: I feel sorry for you because you are here to defend yourself against a stone-hearted enemy and an evil who is incapable of showing pity and who is devoid of, or who is without an ounce of mercy. Antonio: I have heard your grace hath taken great pains to qualify his rigorous course. But since he stands obdurate, and that no lawful means can carry me out of his envious reach, I do oppose my patience to his fury, and am armed to suffer with a quietness of spirit the very tyranny and rage of his. Here Antonio speaks: I have come to hear that your grace has taken great pain to mitigate or soften Shylock's demand to have strict court proceedings, but since he stands firm in his decision, I think no means or no methods of law can save me from his envy or from his malice. I shall meet his anger with patience. And then he says that I am prepared to face, or I am prepared to suffer his cruelty and anger with a calm spirit. Duke: go one and call the Jew into the court. Go somebody and call the Jew into the court, or else one of you go and call the Jew into the court. Celerio: he is ready at the door. He comes, my lord. He is standing at the door, and here he comes, my lord. And now Shylock enters. Duke, make room and let him stand before our face. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so too, that thou but leadst this passion of thy malice to the last hour of act, and then it is thought thou wilt show thy mercy and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. Here, Duke is giving instructions to his officials in the court for making space for Shylock so that he can stand in front of us. That is what he says. After that, he speaks in the following manner that Shylock, everybody in this court and even myself think that you will go with your show of cruelty till the last moment of action. And then we think that you will show your mercy and pity more strangely than your strange, clear cruelty. And where thou now exercisest the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh, thou wilt not only lose the forfeiture, but touched with human gentleness and love, forgive a mighty of the principal, glancing an eye of pity on his losses that have of late so huddled on his back. Here the Duke continues to speak. Whereas now you insist on demanding, or you insist on having the penalty, which is a pound of flesh from this poor man's body, we think that you will not only refuse to accept the penalty, but also you will act out of human gentleness and love by abandoning or giving up a portion of the original sum that is borrowed by Antonio. When you look sympathetically at the losses that have recently heaped or befallen on his back. Enough to press a royal merchant down and pluck commiseration of his state from brassy bosoms and rough hearts of flint, from stubborn Turks and Tatars never trained to offices of tender courtesy. We all expect a gentle answer due. These recent losses are enough to ruin a noble merchant, and the present condition of Antonio can have or can draw pity from hearts as hard as brass and as rough as the stones of uncivilized Turks and Tatars who have never been trained or educated on the acts of human kindness. So, we all expect a soft or a gentle answer from you, Jew. Shylock, I have possessed your grace of what I purpose, and by our holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. If you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your cities of freedom. Shylock speaks, I have informed your grace about my intention, and moreover I have taken an oath by the holy Sabbath to have my penalty that is due as per this contract. If you deny the law, then your city's charter and freedom will be in danger or at risk, or else it will cause to fall danger upon your city's law and its freedom. You will ask me why I rather choose to have a weight of carrion flesh than to receive 3,000 ducats. I will not answer that, but say it's my humor. Is it answered? Shylock speaks. You will ask me why I would rather have a pound of decaying flesh than to have 3,000 ducats. I will not give a clear answer, but I say that I want it. Is it a sufficient answer for you? What if my house be troubled with a rat, and I be pleased to give 10,000 ducats to have it banked? What are your answers at? What shall I do if my house is disturbed or pestered by a rat? I say I am happy to spend 10,000 ducats to get it poisoned. Are you satisfied with the answer at? Some men there are love not a gaping pig, some that are mad if they behold a cat, and others when the bagpipe sings, the nose cannot contain themselves. Here Shylock speaks, there are some people who don't like a pig's head which is roasted with the mouth open, or who don't bear the sight of an open mouthed roasted pig. And after that he says, there are some people who become mad when they see a cat. And then he says, there are some people who lose their self-control when they hear the shrill notes or the songs of the bagpipe. For affection, mistress of passion, sways to the mood of what it likes or loathes. Because personal feeling is the ruler of our emotion, and the same personal feeling directs or controls our emotion to like or dislike something. Now for your answer, as there is no firm reason to be rendered why he cannot abide a gaping pig, why he a harmless necessary cat, why he a woolen bagpipe, but of a force must yield to such inevitable shame as to offend himself being offended. So can I give no reason, nor I will not, more than a lodged heat and a certain loathing I bear Antonio, that I follow thus a losing suit against him. Are you answered? Here Shylock speaks, I will give you answer for your question, as there is no clear or solid reason to be rendered why he cannot bear the sight of an open-mouthed roasted pig, why he cannot bear the sight of a harmless domestic cat, and why he loses his control when he hears the shrill notes or the shrill songs of a woolen covered bagpipe. But when he himself is hurt, he is forced to react in such a shameful manner by causing or by inflicting harm to others. So in the same way, I tell you, I have no reason why I need a pound of flesh. I will not give a reason, because I have a deep-rooted hatred and a certain dislike for Antonio, and that is why I follow this unprofitable case against him. Are you satisfied with the answer? Bassanio, this is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty. Bassanio here speaks, this is not a pleasing answer, you hard-hearted man. This answer doesn't free or excuse you from your present cruelty. Shylock, I am not bound to please thee with my answer. I am not bound to give you a pleasing answer. Bassanio, do all men kill the things they do not love? Do all men kill the things that they do not love? Shylock, hates any man the thing he would not kill? Doesn't any man kill the thing that he really hates? Or is there any man who will not kill the thing that he really hates? Bassanio, every offense is not a hate at first. Here he speaks, every fault is not hateful in the beginning. Shylock, what, wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice? What, would you let a snake to sting you twice? Antonio, I pray you, think you question with the Jew, you may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood bid his usual height. You may as well use question with the wolf why he hath made the ewe bleed for the lamb. You may as well forbid the mountain pines to wag their high tops and to make no noise when they are threatened with guts of heaven. You may as well do anything most hard as seek to soften that, than which what is harder his Jewish heart. Therefore, I do beseech you, make no more offers, use no further means, but with all brief and plain conveniency, let me have judgment and the Jew his will. Here Antonio speaks, I request you to think that you are arguing with the Jew. Instead of arguing with the Jew, you may go and stand on the beach to tell the ocean to reduce or to smaller the height of its tide. It is better, rather arguing with this Jew, you may go and ask the wolf why he has made the ewe or the mother sheep mourn by eating its lamb. I think it would be better for you to go and tell the pine trees on the mountains to stop waving their tree tops and not to make any noise when they are disturbed by the winds from the sky. In my opinion, you can do anything that is most difficult in this world rather than try to soften a thing which is still harder, that is his Jewish heart or the heart of Shylock. Therefore, I request you not to make any more appeals or any more pleas to Shylock, nor look for any other ways or any other means to soften his heart. Finally, Antonius speaks this, with all your speed and as per your convenience, let me have punishment and let the Jew have his will accomplished. Bassanio, for thy 3,000 decades, here is 6. Bassanio speaks, here are 6,000 decades in the place of your 3,000 decades. Shylock, if every decade in 6,000 decades were in 6 parts, and every part a decade, I would not draw them, I would have my bond. If each decade in 6,000 decades were divided or split into 6 parts, and each part was a decade, still I should not accept it. I insist on having my bond. That is what Shylock says. Duke, how shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none? How can you have mercy for yourself from God when you don't have mercy for others? Shylock, what judgment shall I dread doing no wrong? You have among you many a purchased slave, which, like your asses and your dogs and mules, you use in abject and in slavish parts, because you bought them. Shall I say to you, let them be free? Marry them to your house. Why suffer they under burdens? Let their beds be made as soft as yours, and let their palates be seasoned with such wines. You will answer, the slaves are ours. So do I answer you, the pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought. It's mine, and I will have it. If you deny me, fie upon your law. There is no force in the decrees of Venice. I stand for judgment. Answer, shall I have it? Shylock here speaks. Why should I fear your judgment when I am sure that I have not done anything wrong? Then he continues, you have many purchased slaves among you, and whom you use as your donkeys, dogs, and mules. You make them to perform servile or slavish tasks, because you say that you have bought them. And shall I tell you, let them marry your children? Why do you make them work so hard, or why do you make them sweaty by giving heavy loads? Why don't you make their beds as soft as yours? Let their palates, that means roof of mouth, be treated with the same food that you eat, or let them eat the same food that you take. Then he continues, in this contest, you will say, the slaves are ours. So, in the same way, I shall answer you that the pound of flesh which I demand is dearly bought by me, or that is bought at a high price by me. So, it is mine, and I am going to have it. If you deny the justice to me, then shame upon your law. There is no force or there is no power in the judiciary or the law of Venice that can deny this to me. I stand here to have justice. Answer me whether I can have it or not. Duke, upon my power, I may dismiss this court unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today. Let me have explanation for that. With my authority, I tell you I can dismiss this court. If not, Bellario, a scholarly doctor of law, whom I have requested to come and settle this case, comes here today. Salario, my lord here stays without a messenger with letters from the doctor new come from Padua. Salario here speaks. My lord, a messenger is waiting outside with letters from Dr. Bellario. He has just come from Padua. Duke, bring us the letters, call the messenger. Here goes the explanation. Bring the letters to us and call the messenger to the court. Bassanio, good cheer, Antonio. What man, courage yet. The Jew shall have my flesh, blood, bones, and all, ere thou shalt lose for me one drop of blood. Here Bassanio speaks. Be cheerful or be happy, Antonio. I ask you to have courage or fill yourself with courage. I shall give the Jew my flesh, blood, bones, and all, or everything, before you lose a drop of blood for me. Antonio, I am a tainted wether of the flock, meetest for death, the weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground, and so let me, you cannot better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph. Antonio here speaks. I am a weak ram in the flock or in the herd. I am more suitable for death or to be killed or slaughtered. Usually, the weakest or withered sort of fruit falls first from the tree to the ground. So let me fall or let me die first, because you cannot better be occupied or employed for this purpose than to live and write an epitaph or inscription for my gravestone or my tombstone. Enter Nerissa dressed like a lawyer's clerk. In the meantime, Nerissa enters disguised like a lawyer's clerk. Duke, came you from Padua, from Bellario? Are you coming from Padua, from Bellario? Or you came from Padua, from Bellario? Nerissa, from both, my lord. Bellario greets your grace. Nerissa here speaks. Yes, I am coming from Padua and from Bellario. He sends greetings or wishes for your grace. Now she presents a letter. Bassanio, why dost thou whet thy knife so earnestly? Why do you sharpen your knife with so much care? Shylock, to cut the forfeiture from that bankrupt there. I sharpen it to cut off or to remove or to take away a pound of flesh from that bankrupt who is standing there. This is what Gratiano, not on thy soul, but on thy soul. Harsh Jew, thou makest thy knife keen, but no metal can, not the hangman's axe, bear half the keenness of thy sharp envy. Can no prayers pierce thee? Here Gratianus speaks, it seems to me that you are not sharpening your knife on the sole of your shoe, but you are sharpening it on your soul, that is your human soul, you cruel Jew. And after that he says this, you are sharpening it like anything. But I think no metal, not even the axe of hangman, cannot become as sharp as your envy or your malice. And after that he asks this, can no prayers penetrate to your hearts Or can no prayers change your heart?